Imagine you could eliminate human error or manipulation of investor funds by placing decision-making power into the hands of an automated system and a crowdsourced process. A magic internet community that allows members to coordinate funds and resources. Wouldn't that be great? Well, that's a DAO's most basic form. DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. It is an entity with no central leadership. Think of them like an internet-native business that's collectively owned and managed by its members. They have a built-in treasuries that no one has the authority to access without the approval of the group. Decisions are governed by proposals and voting to ensure everyone in the organization has a voice. DAOs are an effective and safe way to work with like-minded people around the globe. DAO as an organization are represented by rules and coded as a transparent computer program, controlled by the organization's members and not influenced by a central government. As the rules are embedded into the code, no managers are needed, therefore removing any bureaucracy or hierarchy hurdles. Decisions get made from the bottom up, governed by a community organized around a specific set of rules enforced on a blockchain. It is fully autonomous and transparent. Smart contracts lay the foundational rules, execute the agreed upon decisions, and at any point proposals, voting, and even the very code itself can be publicly audited. Community members create proposals about the future operations of the protocol, and then come together to vote on each proposal. Proposals that achieve some predefined level of consensus are then accepted and enforced by the rules of the smart contract. Part of the elegance of this framework is the alignment of incentives. That is, it is the individual's best interest to be forthright in their voting and only to approve proposals that serve the best interest of the protocol itself. A healthy, robust protocol will garner more usage and in turn increase the value of the tokens of which each DAO member is in possession of. So as the protocol succeeds, so do the token holders. So you may be wondering, how do DAOs work? The backbone of a DAO is its smart contract. The contract defines the rules of the organization and holds the group's treasury. Smart contracts are deployed on numerous blockchains nowadays, though Ethereum was the first to use them. Once the contract is live on the blockchain, no one can change the rules except by a vote. If anyone tries to do something that's not covered by the rules and logic in the code, it will fail. And because the treasury is defined by the smart contract too, that means no one can spend the money without the group's approval either. This means that DAOs don't need a central authority. Instead, the group makes decisions collectively and payments are authorized automatically when votes pass. This is possible because smart contracts are tamper-proof once they go live on the Ethereum. You can't just edit the code or the DAO's rules without people noticing because everything is public. As they are built on an open source blockchain, anyone can view their code. Anyone can audit their built-in treasuries as the blockchain records are all financial transactions. Typically, a DAO launch occurs in 3 major steps. Firstly, smart contract creation, and this is where the developer or group of developers must create the smart contract behind the DAO. After launch, they can only change the rules set by these contracts through the governance system. This means they must extensively test the contracts to ensure they don't overlook important details. Next up is funding. After the smart contracts have been created, the DAO needs to determine a way to receive funding and how to enact governance. This is typically achieved through token issuance, by which the protocol sells tokens to raise funds and fill the DAO treasury. These tokens give holders voting rights. Once funding is completed, the DAO is ready for deployment. The DAO needs to be deployed on the blockchain. From this point on, stakeholders decide on the future of the organization. The organization's creators, those who wrote the smart contracts, no longer influence the project any more than other stakeholders. So, what are some of the advantages of DAOs? The main advantage of a DAO is that they offer a solution to the principal-agent dilemma. The dilemma is a conflict in priorities between a person or a group, the principal and those making decisions and acting on their behalf, the agent. Problems can occur in some situations, with a common one being in the relationship between stakeholders and a CEO. The CEO, or the agent, may work in a way that's not in line with the priorities and goals determined by the principal, which would be the stakeholders, and instead act in their own self-interest. This leads to a DAO not requiring a lot of trust between two parties, while a traditional organization requires a lot of trust in the people behind it, especially on behalf of investors. With DAOs, only the code needs to be trusted. Trusting that code is easier to do as it is publicly available and can be extensively tested before launch. Every action a DAO takes after being launched has to be approved by the community and is completely transparent and verifiable. Such an organization has no hierarchical structure, yet it can still complete tasks and grow while being controlled by stakeholders via its native token. The lack of a hierarchy means any stakeholder can put forward an innovative idea that the entire group will consider and improve upon. Internal disputes are often easily solved through the voting system, in line with the pre-written rules in the smart contract. By allowing investors to pool funds, DAOs also give them a chance to invest in early-stage startups and decentralized projects while sharing the risk or any profits that may come out of them. Of course, DAOs aren't perfect. Some disadvantages may be that they're extremely new technology that has attracted much more criticism due to lingering concerns regarding their legality, security, and structure. One potential problem with the voting system is that even if a security hole was spotted in its initial code, it can't be corrected until the majority vote on it. While the voting process takes place, hackers can make use of a bug in the hole of the code. DAOs can be distributed across multiple jurisdictions, and there's no legal framework for them. Any legal issues that may arise will likely require those involved to deal with the numerous regional laws in a complicated legal battle. As an internet native organization, they have the potential to change the way corporate governance works completely. While the concept matures and the legal grey area they operate in is cleared, more and more organizations may adopt a DAO's model to help govern some of their activities. It is important to understand that DAO is a broad term that encompasses a huge number of different types of groups and businesses. Two collectives can be vastly different, but still both be DAOs. A few examples of well-known DAOs is the Pleaser DAO, which collects various NFTs and invests in other assets. The Her Story DAO collects and funds projects by Black women and non-binary artists. The Friends with Benefits DAO is an exclusive social club which you pay to enter. And the Metacartel Venture DAO is for a profit business that invests in early stage decentralized applications. To help this make more sense, here's a few examples of how you could use a DAO. Firstly, a charity. You can accept membership and donations from anyone in the world, and the group can decide how they want to spend donations. A freelancer network. You could create a network of contractors who pool their funds for office space and software subscriptions. Ventures and grants. You could create a venture fund that pools investment capital and votes on ventures to back. Repaid money could later be redistributed amongst the members. As said above, Ethereum and DAOs go hand in hand, and this is for a number of reasons. Firstly, Ethereum's own consensus is distributed and established enough for organizations to trust the network. Smart contract codes can't be modified once live, even by its owners. This allows the DAO to run by the rules it was programmed with. Smart contracts can send and receive funds. Without this, you would need a trusted intermediary to manage group funds. The Ethereum community has proven to be more collaborative than competitive, allowing for best practices and support systems to emerge quickly. Thus, Ethereum's popularity. DAOs envision a collective organization owned and managed by its members, with all of them having a voice. Many analysts and industry insiders affirm that this type of organization is coming to prominence, even potentially replacing some traditional companies. Businesses and brands need to stay abreast of current trends that could impact how they engage with consumers and how consumers interact with them. While DAOs are not found everywhere yet, they do seem to be picking up steam with many creators. What are your thoughts on DAOs? Are you a part of any currently? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button as not to miss out on more.